Welcome back to Stargirl. This is some episode of Season 3. Specifically, number 8. Infinity Inc. Part 2. Life's been pretty busy, hectic, in good and bad ways, and I'm catching up. So, last time we ended on a cliffhanger. We found Jenny's brother, Todd. He has shadow powers. We knew that. I mean, we didn't know that, but I knew that. And the Shade is back helping out, and yeah, we got to, so Mr. Bones has taken him to exorcise the demons in him. He said he was like going to destroy the world if he got removed, so whatever. They ended up freeing him. He unleashed the shadows and trapped at least Pat and the Shade in the Shadowlands. We don't know about Courtney, and Jenny's also there. I think at the same time, yeah, the blackout in Blue Valley, they were trying to get rid of all the cameras. They got rid of a couple. Yolanda got kicked out of the house, so she's with Barbara right now and Mike. And yeah, let's just see where this goes.
Okay, we gotta find a way back.
That's a brilliant strategy. I'm truly watching a master at work.
Hey Swift, I'm doing the best.
Calm the fuck down,
Please don't apologize.
sir.
I can think.
Oh,
You.
I knew he was gonna say that, but come on. Oh, that's cool. We got the black and white version. Teo Jones. Well, it sounds familiar, but I could not tell you who. Oh, they're still here. Oh, damn.
You like boys?
Okay. Explosion! Yeah, maybe that's not a good thing. I think she's in there. Yep. Ma'am, do you not know how to use a rotary phone?
You shouldn't have come here.
The fuck?
Wait!
I thought you're sending her home, and now. Try and get on that phone again. Learn how to use a rotary phone. Come on.
Avoiding the hungry wraiths, your insecurities will no doubt conjure up until I can find a way out.
Stop pitting the blade out of Pat. It's gonna be Shade's fault.
Not entirely true.
Ooh. Hey. How y'all doing? Got the best cup of tea right here, the diner.
Well, this is where you refuse to forgive me,
Ooh.
isn't it, Mr. Swift?
I told you it was gonna be his demons. Sergeant Rock? Please, I don't know. His dad?
Grab a wrench.
Dad?
It's dad, okay. Is that poop? What is that? Girl, don't be touching that shit. She got her ring on her still. Come on, start blasting. Well, what kind of shit? This therapy, this treatment just does not feel, for one thing, permanent, but also like helpful at all. Okay, we don't need you. We never heard of you before this, so we don't need to talk about you.
A nightmare version of the people in our lives. It twists their words.
No, not this time, Shade. My real father spoke every word of this.
Oh. Well, leave then. It's his sister, obviously.
Nothing that I care to see.
Oh. Maybe it's a chance to make amends.
Face things. You don't run away.
Yeah. Because it just makes your fear stronger. You're not acknowledging it.
I'm incapable of feeling anything.
What the fuck? How are you on the intercom and in person? I mean, I think it goes back to But they're learning the Shadowlands. You can't just ignore it. You have to face it. Also, I like the clever camera so they could save on the CGI for Mr. Bones. It's like focusing on Courtney for most of that monologue.
Okay? Forget that limey.
Here
We're
we go,
not
okay.
done, son.
Jenny's still too close to Todd.
Do what we did for you.
Try to reconnect with your brother? Like,
With him. Don't go away. Have faith.
Get your son.
I
He does
Oh.
everything he can to get your attention.
mean,
Just like you did with me.
she's right.
You don't see Mike at all. So like you, he feels worthless.
I do like that we're getting some fleshed out character development for Pat and Mike. Okay, get in there, Jenny. Come on.
Do you want to?
Any more than this?
Then you won't.
Girl, you need to try something. He's already going through an exorcism in here. You gotta do something.
Shouldn't have trusted you.
Ma'am, calm down. Have a little faith.
Come on!
I.
Please.
Dad left his.
You're not gonna die, Shade. Wonder Twin powers.
In the dark.
Can your science explain that? And they're back. Everything's fine. Was his hair always that great? Somebody do something. Just a full 30 seconds of them going. Like.
Is being held against their will.
That's actually true, Courtney.
What?
Even so.
I feel like I missed something. There was like a scene missing here. So, we're led to believe he wasn't spying on them.
Yeah, I get that. But you want redemption for the past, right? Well, it isn't just about not doing bad things.
It's like, don't read me.
My heart's dream, saddled with reprobates.
What about Courtney and Pat? How are they gonna get home?
This has left us with one question.
Who's spying on you?
If Helix hasn't been the one spying, then who?
Yeah, that's like. They made it so fucking obvious it was Mr. Bones. And then they said, no, it wasn't Mr. Bones. So who the fuck is it? Dragon King? Is it really Dragon King? Is it actually Dragon King? He lives in the sewers. Don't do this. It's Dragon King. Who is... No. Show me who it was. I'm leaning towards Dragon King just because it was like a red herring that I think it might actually be now. However, it could just be a costuming thing. Or maybe it was legit. But when he punched through the TV right here, the monitor... I know my thing is a bit lighting and stuff, but excuse me. His the little part of his wrist that's showing is like normal skin colored. So it's either again a costuming thing, or it's not Dragon King. But like, if it's somebody we know, basically, that's what I'm going off of. If it's somebody that we've been introduced to in the show and we've seen before, it has to be him. It could be Starman. It could still be Starman. We could go back to evil Starman theory. But how did he hurt himself? I was gonna say it could be Starman because during this blackout that they did, he wasn't in. We just saw him kind of zooming off and talking to them through the radio. That was it. So we didn't really see what he was up to. I was going to say the thing that kind of makes it that it's not him is that he was attacked and stabbed, He had a stab wound. He got thrown 20 feet in the air. all that stuff happened. So, like, the question would be, how did that happen? But, you know, assuming that he's still a likely suspect, they could explain away how he got hurt basically during that incident, because everything else still makes sense. You know, his anger issues, his sort of motive there for killing the gambler and everything. Like, I just want to lean towards Sylvester Starman, just because I feel like it would be gratifying in a sense to be right about him being weird. But yeah, I don't really have anything. So him, Dragon King, there's a world where it's Icicle or something, or one of his one of the grandparents, but I don't really think they're not prevalent. I don't think they're prevalent enough. It just it doesn't quite match up as well. You know, we've already eliminated the Crocs, Artemis. You know, a lot of our characters, there's just no real matchup there. So I think the primary suspects still. I mean, there's also Cindy, I guess, but Cindy, I feel like she's just, again, we've kind of already gone over, like, she was already the red herring and, you know, the false suspect. So, like, even more so than Dragon King it was, you know, like, we as the audience knew she was involved and she was kind of adjacent to it all. So if it truly is her, I think that's kind of lazy. I don't know. Like, I think if I had to choose somebody, it's Pat or Dragon King. My third choice would be a character we haven't seen on the show, and it's just somebody new, because I really can't think of anybody else that would be part of this. Overall, interesting episode. Like I said, I love the stuff in the Shadowlands with Pat and him sort of getting to know more about him, but also that sort of wake-up call that he is kind of treating Mike like trash. You know, I'm rewatching we finished season 1. We started season 2. We're on like episode 4 or 5, me and my partner. And so it's very obvious. Like, it's like I said, rewatching it, you can definitely see, and I know especially with season 2, they kind of made it a point of Mike's isolation and his loneliness and, you know, all that stuff. So I feel like we still haven't addressed that. And again, you know, I even mentioned it a couple episodes ago when they were talking about Mike, when Barbara and Sylvester were talking about Mike, and she's like, he's my son. I was like, you literally haven't spoken to him in so long. Like, I get the sentiment that they're trying to have, and, you know, there's only so much that you can show in a show when you have to progress the plot and stuff. You can't have you know, there's only so much screen time you have, basically. But at the end of the day, they're neglectful of him, you know? Like, I can't remember the last time that he's had a scene, like, with his parents. You know, I think last episode, technically he did with Barbara, but he wasn't really interacting with her. He was kind of like in the house at the same time as Barbara, and then Yolanda arrived. You know, like, it was all kind of circumstantial. I can't really recall. A lot of his scenes are with Jakeem now. So, like, there's definitely something there. And I really hope they can address that sort of, you know, this show's about family. So I feel like they do a really good job with Courtney. And, you know, I've always praised the show for normalizing non-traditional families with the, you know, like the step family aspect they have in this show. And how it's like, you know, even though they weren't born and raised together, they kind of cohesively came together later in life, and, you know, they're all good terms. But like I said, Mike is kind of the black sheep in this situation. Again, just love the shade, just love his character. You know, I like that he isn't perfect. You know, I think that's just such a good detail about him, and how he isn't really learning his lesson, but, you know, he is making baby steps and trying to be a better person. The stuff with Mr. Bones, you know, interesting sort of finale with him, and like, oh, maybe isolation isn't the best way. Maybe we should make our own team. You know, okay, it is what it is. You know, I'm not sure how much. They definitely built him up to be the false antagonist of the season. You know, we up till this point, we assume he's the main antagonist. He's the big bad for the season. But But this episode, especially like the last 10 minutes, pretty much confirms that he is not the one spying on them, and he's kind of doing his own thing. And it's all just a misunderstanding. We're helping people. It's all a volunteer process. So I'm curious. I don't know if he's gonna show up again in this season, or like Helix at all, or is this kind of the end of that? Is it just Keith David's a big name, so I wouldn't be surprised, and especially with the CGI, like I would not be surprised or mad if this whole plot line with Helix is done with, and that's just kind of their way of sending off. Like, okay, we finished this plot line, now we can, wrapped it up in tight little bow. We have the opportunity to bring them back if we want to, but it's not beholden to us, especially with the I don't think I've talked about it yet, but I know Stargirl got canceled. This is the last season, so hopefully, like I said, hopefully they can kind of wrap up very well. The previous seasons have, they've given us teases and like expectations for the later seasons, but at the same time they wrap up what the current season is doing very well, so I'm not too worried about that. But like I said, Helix and Mr. Bones, I'm just like, it could go either way for me. I really don't care too much about them, so I'm fine with just continuing this murder mystery that's going on in Blue Valley and seeing who the true villain is. Yeah, I feel like it took a long time, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I guess to finish off that thought, same kind of thought going on with Jenny, Todd, and even the Shade. I like the Shade the most, but those three characters, they kind of doing their own thing now. They introduced, they talked about some Sandman. I'm familiar with Sandman in passing. I forgot what, Sandy Hawkins, I think. She is the Sandman, aka Sandman. Okay, that's Sandman, not Sandman like. Wait, what? Is this Sandman like in the Sandman TV show? Maybe. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Whatever. Point is, they kind of ripped them out of the show, so I'm okay if this is the end of them. I never really was too attached to Jenny in general, just because she is so infrequent. I was going to mention that I do like that as another Asian character. It's her and Todd. I think they're Filipino. They might be. I know when they were casting, there was kind of like ethnically ambiguous, that famous catchphrase. But again, I just love the, there are definitely a lot of white people. I'll say it, but like, I like that they're trying to put in, they're trying to, I guess, race bend characters because, well, maybe not. I don't know too much about. Anyways, I'm going into a tangent. Point is, I don't mind if those three kind of just, this is the last time we see them. I'd love to see the Shade again. I'd love to just have the misadventures of whatever they're doing, but I know this is about Stargirl, and I'm very invested in the murder mystery, so I'm good to just continue with that next episode and going forward the rest of the season. So, thanks for watching. Leave thoughts down in the comments below. Who do you guys think is the voyeur? Because right now, like I said, it's Pat, it's Dragon King, it's somebody else. Those are my three choices. Somebody else meaning a character we haven't been introduced yet. Like, I can't think of anybody else in the show currently that could be it. Like I said, there's Icicle and the Icicle family, but I just don't think they're really there. Thoughts down in the comments below. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Yada yada.